Everybody got your drinks ready? I know we do on the Outcasts. We have our drinks ready because you know what it is, folks? This is our 52nd, and we've missed a couple in between there because, various reasons. But this is the 52nd week of the Trump administration. So we're calling it a 1-year Trump Roundup celebration, and I don't know if it's something we should really celebrate, but
we're definitely going to drown it in alcohol.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's go into some of the headlines that have come up with the Trump administration this week. How about Trump being linked to the mafia by the Fusion GPS founder?
Well, that's not exactly new news.
Yeah, I thought we already knew he was like.
Yeah,
close.
No, it was an open secret. It was well known, but
we're not talking about Russian mafia. We're talking about Trump having longtime associations with Italian organized crime as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's been.
I'm tracking.
Yeah, that's been well known.
He's got all sorts of hemispheres of criminal influence going on with his organization.
That's kind of been his thing.
And so, if you haven't read the dossier, and if you haven't read all of the transcripts, I'm not going to blame you because they're dry.
They're dry. And
go to Reddit.
How atrocious is this, you guys? That we're just like, yeah. He likes the mob. Like we're just that's not a big deal. The fucking president has mob ties, and we're not like, what the fuck? We're just like, yeah. No.
How about our president that had his lawyer pay a porn star $130,000 through a shell corporation that came back to the lawyer for his indiscretions with, having and I don't give a fuck who anybody has sex with. Like the Monica Lewinsky thing for me was a no-go thing for me, except the fact that he used his position of power over an intern. That's the only problem I have with the whole relationship.
Did he really?
But she wanted. But that's the thing. She sought it. She sought it. It wasn't something that he demanded of her.
We're not calling it assault. We're not calling it assault. She doesn't call it assault.
Inappropriate.
We're not calling it assault.
Yeah.
At the very least, inappropriate. But the thing is
inappropriate.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
instead, we have Trump on record now. And I mean, not him saying this, but the porn star, what the fuck is her name?
Stormy Daniels.
Daniels.
I don't know her.
I do not know her work.
I've probably seen some. I
don't know.
Tell you.
She's not my type.
Late friend of the show, Bud, was a big fan.
Oh.
That's how I know her name, because he was a big fan. So, cheers, Bud.
Cheers, Bud.
Fucked Trump. He hated Trump. So that would probably have broken his heart.
If the cancer didn't get him, this would have.
This would have killed him.
Sorry, Bud. We love you, man. So let's talk about some of the other stuff besides the fact that the Trump was having sex with a porn star while he was married. No big deal.
Shortly after he had a kid. Yeah,
he's
sure.
A piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. We all knew that. Like
any other president. Literally any other president, any one of them.
This would have
That's
destroyed
it.
him.
You would have been done. They would have asked you to leave office because they couldn't support you. Evangelicals, I'm waiting for Fun with Real Audio next week to talk about this kind of stuff where
they're gonna make excuses for it.
Well, he owned up to it, or she's just lying, or something like that.
He didn't own up to it. He still hasn't owned up to it.
No, he hasn't, and this for her, this wasn't like some great big secret. She was like, yeah, we had an affair. Like, I don't know her. I'm not going to judge her character at all. I don't know Trump and Melania's relationship. So like fucking, and that's why Democrats aren't making a huge deal out of this. Cause we're all sitting here going, this fucking doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Democrats aren't making a big deal of it because there's that. This is,
the fact that he's one of those dictator that's a dictator who just doesn't have dictator power yet.
Yeah.
This is like,
that's what we're focused on.
We do not care. We do not care. I mean, yeah, he's a gross individual, and yes, he was shitty, and yes, he's got some weird kinks, but
the thing of it is that we don't care about this. We don't care about his affairs. We don't care about any of that. Yeah. And yes, it would absolutely, in any other president, be a scandal. The thing is that this is actually not a hypocritical stance for the far right to take.
No, because look how many of them have fucking side pieces, you know.
Well, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether they have side pieces, whether they're evangelicals who don't believe in marriage outside of, or sex outside of marriage, and all that, because all it boils down to is patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
All it boils down to is submissive women, and this is a whore, and therefore they can disregard her entirely because in their mind she's a whore. This is what she does. And Trump is the big man on campus, and he is a patriarch. And so in their mind, this still, like, this morally lines up for them. They can disregard her, and they can put her as a lower person, and they can put the good women, quotes, on pedestals, which are dehumanizing, which I've discussed many times on the show. Put them on pedestals, and that's still submissiveness of women. That's all it boils down to for them. And that's why they're fine with it, because it's still patriarchy. It's still the submissiveness of women that they care about. And to Stormy Daniels, I don't know if it is submissiveness to her. I don't like, this isn't speaking from her experience.
Yeah.
It is about the perspective of the men of the right. And so for them, and for the women, the evangelical women, well, they are the good women. They're the ones doing God's work. They're the good women. And then the women who participate in patriarchy, they're like, well, this is how it's done. That's just it. That's all it is. So and then there's those of us on the sex positive female empowerment side who are like, she can fuck whoever she wants. So like,
Did you guys happen to see the photo that I sent out earlier this week of the pizza with the pizza bagel on top of it?
Yeah.
And it had the
Yeah.
There's a reason. There's a reason behind that, and I didn't want to tell you guys at that point because somebody had tried doing another guerrilla network, kind of spoof kind of thing where Trump was in the room with Stormy Daniels and he was going to order some pizza because she thought they were going to go out to a meal. This is a joke. This isn't real. That it was believable though. It was honestly completely fucking believable. And when you're reading it, I mean, just like the guerrilla network could have been believable if they tweaked like maybe 2 lines in it,
Yeah, they said he knelt in front of the TV. That's bullshit. That dude can't kneel.
Not knelt and 16 hours a day in front of the television. That's a bit much. However, this whole thing came up where he's like, I'm going to order a pizza instead of us going out. And he's like, yeah, I want to order a pizza, but I want you to put little miniature pizzas on top of my pizza. I'm like, fuck, I want one of those. That sounds really good right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I would with keeping with my diet. I can't do it, but I kind of want to try the pizza with the mini pizzas, with the pizza bagels, with the Tostitos pizza rolls on top.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try it. Like I want to know, and I want to dip it in ranch.
Yeah, one of my all-time favorite fat guilt kind of things that I have is like, you don't open a bag of Totino's pizza rolls and, leave some for later.
No, they come in single serving bags.
One serving. All right, what else happened here this week? He refused to sit with the Congressional Black Caucus leaders earlier this week.
He did not.
He did
not.
He did.
He had his fake news awards that came out.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, but they didn't really.
Yeah, because the website was broke.
Promptly. Boom.
Hey, when you have somebody that has like 60 million people that are on their Twitter and they put out a link.
And a solid 50% of them are just following him just so they can keep in touch. Like,
yeah. Expect that you're going to get a high volume of content or people trying to hit your website at one time. So get a couple of load balancers, make sure
the RNC website isn't prepared for that. They're like, no one pays attention to us.
Our people send us stuff with stamps every once in a while. So whatever. He, let's see, on Monday, he urged people in America to observe MLK Day by getting involved in their communities.
Yeah.
While he spent the day golfing at Mar-a-Lago.
And black women went, fuck you. That's what they did.
Oh, let's talk about his physical for a second since we were talking about
black
fat
women
stuff there.
are involved, is my point.
He had his first physical, declared healthy, by the White House physician.
In excellent health. He said it 8 times in a paragraph.
Yeah.
Excellent health. That's fucking excellent health. My God, I am working my ass off over here. All right.
6'3".
I'm working my ass off. And I am pretty good health. I got carpal tunnel in both wrists, and my knees, they're, it's shoddy.
Yeah.
But I have great blood pressure. I have great heart rate. My cholesterol levels are perfect. My eyesight is as perfect as eyesight could possibly want to be. And I never had a doctor ever say to me once, "You are in excellent health. You can watch as much TV as you want." God,
no, most of the time they'd be like, "Well, you could stand to lose 10 to 15 pounds." And that's what they kind of said about him here as well. But they rigged the numbers just enough to make his BMI.
My doctors haven't even ever told me to lose weight. And I still feel like I could stand to lose 10 to 15 pounds. So
239 and 6'3". And I get it. People putting out all the stuff where they're kind of trying to fat shame him with like pictures of other athletes and stuff like that. Doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. But the thing is,
muscle weighs more than fat. That's not comparable.
Well, and here's the thing.
Fat person.
I'm not shaming him, and I, by my regards, I think that if you are something, you can, comment on this stuff. Black people can comment on black things, white people can comment on white people things. Anybody can comment on white people things, really. But I'm just saying that I can't comment on the life of a skinny white girl. I can't comment on that because I'm a dude. But the thing is, my whole life has been obesity. So when I see this stuff happening and I'm like, oh, fuck you with your 239 at 6'3" bullshit. Like, I've been on the higher end of the BMI chart. Even when I was in my best shape of my life, I was still, according to BMI, like 40 pounds overweight where I should have been.
Yeah.
And this is like 9-minute miles, 7-minute miles every once in a while. And, lifting weights all the time. Like, I was in really fucking good health. Not anymore, but the thing is, I was never at 239 at 6 foot. He's not 6'3". Come the fuck on, people. He was at like 0.1 behind where he needed to be on the BMI chart. And it's just ridiculous. And
I guarantee they submitted those numbers to the physician, and the physician just had to go off of them because we've talked about this. He could lose his job. And he's military. Like, there's so many things that could go wrong for him if he did not go with it.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to convince someone of an idea if their paycheck is on the line because of it. I guarantee they provided these numbers to the physician, and he just worked off that. And then they were like, and he did a mental assessment. And apparently he did that in front of the physician. And it's like, great. He identified a fucking camel. That does not. That's not a comment on his mental stability. That was just a test for dementia.
Yeah.
That's one fucking thing.
That's the test you give. That's the test you give the old people that come in from off the street because they don't know where they are, who they are, and stuff like that. So you need to test them for dementia like that. This is not a cognitive test. This is not
not
full-blown battery of something. This is a quick to take stupid little test that would tell somebody.
There's not one fucking test that tests your cognitive ability. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, as an EMT, you do basic check-in tests. Like, where are you? What's the date? What year is it? Do you know what day of the week it is? And by the way, if a regular person hesitates and they're like, Wednesday. Oh, I mean Tuesday. That's not a fail.
Yeah, that doesn't mean impairment. That just means
that people forget shit. Like,
no shit.
But like, if they're like, it's 1966. You're like, okay, you're having issues. Issues. Like, it could seriously just be temporary.
Am the King of France.
Exactly. This wasn't comprehensive at all in any way.
No.
To diagnose someone, I mean, you actually have to sit down with them. It's just craziness to me because I had to sit down for an hour before my therapist went, okay, you might have, and she was the first one. She was like, you might have a little bit of PTSD, and then the second one, she's like, you got PTSD. Like, she's like, no, this is PTSD. Like, but I laugh because it's kind of funny that she went from like trying to be all soft and sweet with it. But like you have to sit down and you actually have to go over these things. Like it's not a fucking written test.
It's not 10 minutes, you know.
Yeah,
no, and he's not even that kind of a doctor.
No. You think an MD, family practice MD, because I have to be specific here. Family practice MD can diagnose PTSD? No, they cannot.
That's not their specialty.
And that's why they don't. That's why they don't diagnose PTSD. They might say, okay, it seems like you're having some anxiety about some stuff. That's why you get
referrals and go to the real doctors.
It's fucking craziness.
So that's all we got for Trump, and it's been one hell of a year. Let's hope that we can still continue to do this for another week. One more week. I don't want anything beyond that. But you know what? We'll be here. Utah Outcasts will be here. We're going to continue to do this because it's all we got. I mean, not all we got. I mean, obviously we have other show to do, but the thing is, we have to have some sort of release valve when it comes to this guy. And we hope that you enjoy our bitching about the president.
And call to action. And at the very, very fucking least.
Yeah.
This is a call to fucking action. We're doing it. I mean, at the very, very fucking least, this call to action is to get out and fucking vote like a goddamn adult.
I just love how we told them so many times.
So many times.
Before this election.
So many times. We've been calling him an authoritarian, a dictator in the making forever.
And yet, here he is. He's just too stupid to have his Reichstag fire. That's all he's waiting for.
Oh, it's just been a year. It's just been a year.
Yep.
I mean, dictators aren't made in a year.
No, it took Hitler quite a while.
It took him a while. And
they can be idiots. They can be idiots and still win. That's the fucking problem. People are like, yeah, he's too stupid. That doesn't fucking matter. He doesn't fucking matter.
I'm just waiting for the first person to bring in the whole Godwin's law when I just brought up Hitler there. I'm just waiting for it. Like, oh, you went to Godwin's law there. Like, even Godwin admits this guy's not good for us. Yes, he's still alive.
Even Godwin's like, yeah, it's fine.